Hello everyone, before making this video, I'd like to state that drinking under the age of 21 is against the law, as is driving while intoxicated. This video was not made to endorse alcohol or make fun of alcoholism, it's just made for pure fun. So please watch this video and drink within the confines of your own home like I am doing. Don't operate any motor vehicles after drinking. If you feel like you're going to, go ahead and give your keys to a designated driver who hasn't had any alcohol. So enjoy this video and please drink responsibly. So, hopefully you guys watched the intro. That's super important. Please do not skip over the intro to this video. Because today, inspired by this show that my mom really likes called Drunk History, I'm going to try and do drunk makeup. Now, I did eat before. I'm not drinking on an empty stomach. That's a really bad idea. And I am drinking a beverage that is 8% alcohol. I'm not going to show you guys the full can because they're not endorsing this video. So, with that being said, yeah. So the show Drunk History, basically, I don't know if it's real. Or if they're kind of just exacerbating how drunk they really are. I've never been that smashed before to where I'm like falling over. I've never gotten sick after drinking. I felt like I was going to get sick after drinking. But it's never gotten to that point. So if you ever feel like doing that, please get to the safety of like your own home or someone whose home you feel safe in. Excuse me. Wow. Beautiful. So, no, I don't plan on getting, like, smashed during this video, but just, like, a little bit tipsy. Just have fun, you know? I have one time tried to do my makeup while, like, tipsy, and it was so horrible. Like, the blending was absolutely terrible. The colors I chose, like, I should have just kept the pictures just to show you guys. Like, I use, like a nude gray and a green and a purple. I don't know what I was going for. But in my mind, it looked totally different. And then while I'm doing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks completely terrible. So I didn't even take pictures. I might have taken like one or so, but I didn't keep it because it was just god-awful. Yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and not chug this, but take a couple more swigs, change my shirt. I'll be right back. And I did my eyebrows. I have not concealed them yet. And I think I drank a little too fast because I'm starting to feel it. So, like I said, this video has no topic. I'm just going to be, I'll either answer questions that people have asked me or tell little stories, whatever. So, the first thing I'm going to do is answer a question because of, like, a lot of people ask me this and I've just never really answered it before. Like, you would think doing a makeup channel that I've watched makeup tutorials online. And I have watched a few. Like, I did watch a few when I first started makeup. I'm not going to lie and say I didn't. Mainly, I never looked up tutorials as much as I did just products so I could get like an idea of what I should be using. I won't mention the YouTuber that I used to watch because I don't watch her now because I find her to be... Let's just say I don't. No, I just don't anymore. But I did get a lot of the products that I use. I got the ideas from her just from watching her channel and watching the reviews of the swatches or learning her favorite, like, drugstore products and stuff like that. But mainly when I'm on YouTube, I am either watching old episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? I watch reviews about just really anything. I watch a lot of Cinemassacre. I love that channel. I can't get enough of Angry Video Game Nerd. I've seen just about every episode. I'm really liking right now the video rental videos he's doing. Where he's not the the nerd in the videos. He's just James, and usually he'll have like 2 or 3 buddies join him and talk about videos. Like awful, awful movies. God, it's hot in here. And yeah. Or like Mike and James Mondays. I really like the Bored James series, but I don't know if he's doing that anymore. I don't know, because I haven't seen it in a while. But I did enjoy those. And how, like, the first couple Board James episodes were just, like, standalones. Him just reviewing board games, and they were short. But then all of a sudden he added, like, stories to them. I'm like, wow, this is like a pornography does. That's a bad example. I really think these lights are hot. It's like 50 out right now, which is burning up for winter. I feel like it's summer again, and I'm sweating while I'm doing my makeup. I'm sweating. I still got a little bit of a cold. I'm drinking. So, yeah, this is... Yeah, I watch a lot of Sin Massacre. Cinema Snob. Who's the other guy? The Nostalgia Critic, I kind of... I don't know why I'm really not into his channel. I think he's really cool. I'm not saying anything against the videos, but for some reason I think because there's like spin-offs off his show, I can't get into it because he brings on like other people and I'm like, who the heck is this person? So, excuse me. Oh my gosh. So yeah. But there's also a YouTuber I want to mention. His real name is Jeremy, but he does fan films, and you can check him out. His YouTube is Rhinohorn 125, and I hope I'm getting that right. I think that's what it is. But I met him on Instagram, and he does so many really cool fan films. Not only does he do like fan films based off of actual horror movies, but he makes his own. Oh my gosh. I seriously cannot find the freaking contour that I want. No, that's not it either. That's the only trouble of having everything behind me. I'm just guessing like what I'm touching, and none of it is right. We'll just go with this. So, not only does he do fan films based off of like Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Evil Dead, but he has his own series called The Clone, which is super... It's like cerebral in a way. I don't know what you call it. He's so good at it though. I can honestly... Oh my god, I'm sweating so bad right now. This is a bad idea. But yeah, I'm very into those. I think it's super important to show a lot of love for YouTube channels that aren't endorsed by anybody like me, or that are just independent doing their own thing for right now, because really our fan base is our friends and our family, but we need more like just people spreading the word around. So that's why I'm super, super fortunate to have a few people who watch my videos that pass the word around and are like, hey, he's doing really cool things. And I appreciate that, because right now I am not famous. I'm not famous yet. I've been doing this video for like, this channel for like, what, a month now? And I'm not famous. I'm kind of upset. You never know. But you never know when certain... This contour is off. It's hot. Yo, I want to know why it's so hot up in here. And these lights ain't helping either. A, they're off. Like, one side gets all the light, the other side ain't got none. And they are killing me. Half of this video is literally just me burning up and looking like a hot mess, y'all. I told you I can't do my makeup when I do this. I don't know what made me think that this would be remotely a cute idea to do. Except for the fact that my mom said something about drunk makeup after drunk history. And I'm like, wow, yeah, that's totally such a good idea. So now that I've, like, done something that looks like contour. Gosh, you guys, I look like junk. Seriously. So I've done something that looks like contour. I don't know. But now I'm just going to go ahead and do this thing where I bake my face. I want you all to know that I don't care what straight girl says baking. Baking came from the gays. The drag queens invented this method of face powdering back in I don't know when. But I just remember like in 2014, I want to say, I was doing club shows. I was at two different clubs. One was, look at me, I ain't even doing anything. Trash. They were both across the street from each other because all the gay clubs in Dayton are in the same little loop. We call it the Fruit Loop. But the one bar, it's not there anymore. It was called Aquarius. They called it cooking. And then at MJ's, we called it baking. And so, like, there's this big debate about what is it? Are you cooking your face or are you baking? And apparently these straight girls just decided to go with baking because they heard one gay person say it, and all of a sudden all these straight girls know how to bake. Y'all can't bake cookies. Girls acknowledge the fact that they're like, the gay community came up with this. And I'm like, yeah, because we come up with practically everything. We came up with Madonna, which all of a sudden y'all like. We came up with voguing, which all of a sudden everybody knows about. Everything starts off in the gay underground, and then it is straight washed. You know what? The gays invented this, and we just happened to come upon it, and then all of a sudden it's a straight thing. But, you know, the main point is, it's out there, and I'm so glad everybody discovered it, because it's like now an essential. This is not baking, by the way. I haven't even done it yet. I just pre-powdered, and I don't have a sponge. So I just take my finger and do it. I know some of you are probably like, why are you using your finger? Because I don't have a sponge. And honestly, I like the thick layer of powder that it gives me when I use my finger. Always get up and then crack. Any cracks that you see, make sure that you first blend them out so there's no foundation like just caked in there, and then put the powder on. This is not a tutorial, I'm just saying, because I've made that mistake of where I've had like foundation in the creases and powdered it, and then the powder's just like the powder and the foundation settle there like they belong, okay? And I'm just putting it on. Some of it's falling, don't worry about it. This is just Coty powder. It's nothing expensive. I don't spend a lot on face powder because, honestly, a lot of it goes onto the floor. It's one thing I will never pay a lot for is face powder. Because if it's something that's getting dusted off and going into the air, you best believe I ain't spending over $10 for it. Some of these people be like, oh, this face powder is infused with gold and lavender and it cost me $200. And it's gone, literally. You gotta wipe it off your face at night anyway. Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing when I'm spending hundreds of dollars. Not hundreds. I think the most I've ever spent was like the $200 on the Aaliyah. But like sometimes when I go into Sephora and my bill is like $60, I'm like, what are you doing? Because it's stuff that you're wiping off of your face. None of this is permanent. Like, I wish that makeup didn't cake into my pores so I could wear it for a few days just to get my, like, a full money's worth out of it. Crazy, crazy. I just do under my eyes. I don't know why I'm talking like it's a tutorial. This is not a tutorial, okay? Let me repeat that. Not a tutorial. I just haven't gotten to the point of a video yet. But I'm getting to it. I promise you I am. After we finish this little forehead triangle. See, you do like the Simba thing. You know, on The Lion King, which is one movie that I absolutely do not like, but I know the one scene where, like, the baboon, he puts, like, the sign of the cross on the lion's head. Like, you know, when your pastor on Ash Wednesday, he does it. That's what you do when you're baking. You do, like, a little, it ain't a cross, but it's a blob. Like, if your pastor was completely smashed, like I am, he'd probably do this on Ash Wednesday. This is what he do there, like you're blessed. So this is the gay blessing. God, I don't even know if I want to post this video. I'm such a mess right now. But yeah, so that's and we're going to let that settle for a little bit. Like I said, not a tutorial, just saying. That's like my favorite part. I love playing with the powder. I don't know why. So we're going to go ahead and let that settle for a second, and I'll be right back, and I promise I'm getting to a story. Four Loko? I know I came at you like that. I'm sorry. Have y'all ever heard of Four Loko? So, this is, like, the story that I wanted to tell. So, this is the story that I want to tell y'all. I don't know what original Four Loko was like because I was not old enough to drink. And no, I did not do underage drinking at all. I still don't, like, anytime kids are talking about, I'm drinking, and they're like 16, I'm like, no, don't. Because it's not worth it. So, I started drinking at 21. I didn't even drink on my 21st birthday. That's how, like, not into drinking I was. But when I did drink, like, okay, so here's the story. My friend, I'm not going to say her name because I haven't, like, gotten her approval for the story. I'm sure she'd be cool, but I'm not going to just blurt out her name. We'll call her Belinda. And, or whatever. That went up my nose. Oh my god. Gosh darn it. This is when it would be beneficial to have a sponge because I could sponge this off. Okay, it doesn't look like it's coming off. I'm gonna gently blend the alcohol into my foundation. We're doing a new thing called alcohol foundation. Oh, this is a disaster. Okay. Just let it dry. Don't even pat it. If that ever happens to you at a bar, just let it dry. So let's restart this story. My friend called me, said there's this new thing called Four Loko. We should try it before we go out. And I was not a drinker at the time, so I was like, well, I will partake, but I won't do a lot, you know? I don't like to overdo it at the bar. I don't like to overdo it before the bar. I just like to have that nice little calm, you know? I don't like to be drunk out in public. It's enough that I'm doing this video, but I just thought it would be entertaining. So, I went over to her house one Friday. Went over to her house, and she said, now I have 3 different flavors that I've got. She said, one is watermelon, and I hate artificial watermelon or artificial banana, so I wasn't touching it. She said, I have lemonade, which I'm like, okay, that sounds like it might be good. And she had fruit punch, and I'm like, I love fruit punch. Like, Tahitian treat is my drink. So, I was ready. We got into her room. She had them, like, lined up on her dresser. So neat and perfect. And I picked up the fruit punch at first, and I'm like it sounded like that if you can hear it. She goes, yeah, I drank most of that. I'm like, okay. Went to lemonade. I'm like, she goes, yeah, I drank most of that too. Picked up the watermelon. I'm like, this is full. She's like, yeah, you know, that one is full. And I'm like, great, the watermelon. I've never told her that before because I didn't want to be like, Ew, watermelon. But no, I don't like watermelon at all. And she's like, I drank most of, the two of them. There wasn't, there was about that much left in the fruit punch and the lemonade. So I'm like, okay, she drank most of them. And mind you, when she was telling me about these drinks on the phone, she said one was enough to put me completely under. Like she said, I didn't even drink a full one and I was done. I'm like, okay, with the combination of the two, she had probably had like 1.5. So I'm like, okay, she's fine because she's been drinking and she's like completely cool. Like obviously it didn't do too much to her. She'll be cool. She'll be fine. And because we were both getting drunk, her mom volunteered to drop us off if we had a ride home. Like, okay, cool. Her mom had just put a load of laundry in. She's like, well, we're going to have to wait. I'm like, that's fine. It'll give us time to settle in and kind of do a little chit-chat before we head out and do anything. Cool. So we're sitting there and all of a sudden the conversation got deep, which I'm like, okay, she must be feeling it. I was feeling a little bit because I had a little bit of the watermelon, even though I didn't really like it. But I was like, okay, we're feeling it. Because when deep conversation sets on after drinking, that's when you can tell it's hitting. So, we were just having this really heart-to-heart conversation. And I noticed her eyes started to roll back. And I'm like, I don't know if this is good or not. Like, sis, are you fine or not? Because I had never seen her like that before. So, we kept drinking and it was time for us to head out. We're in the car and she starts patting her pockets and she goes, I left my ID inside the house. And her mom goes, you are too smashed. Like, why are you even going out? And she had to go back inside the house. Turns out it was actually in her pocket. So she wasn't missing it at all. That was the first warning sign. I'm like, okay, your eyes are rolling. You are kind of slurring your speech and losing stuff. We should have just stayed home. We really should have. That should have been the sign to stay home. But we went anyway. And we get there, and the first thing she did, she's like, I have got to pee. So we checked our coats, and luckily I took her wallet out of her jacket. Because I'm like, I don't trust anybody. Don't ever check your jacket with money in it. Never. I do not know if that's just a drunk thing or if it's people not giving an F, but never check your wallet when you got some money in it or anything. Empty your pockets. Actually, don't even check your coat because $5 just to check. I can check my own coat. I can put it on the back of a chair and it will be just fine, or I can wear it on the dance floor. It don't bother me none. Or go without a jacket. Just leave your jacket in the car. I took her money out and we start dancing. She had to go to the bathroom. And this is where things get hazy for me, not because I was drunk, but because I got so totally scared. Like, we were dancing and she seemed fine, but then she had this look like she was in pain. And I'm like, are you okay? And that's when I knew she was going to throw up. So we went to the bathroom and that happened. And I just wanted to get out because I don't know about y'all's bars, but our bars, like if you throw up at them, you get banned. Like, okay, you could just have a stomach bug. You don't need to ban people for throwing up, especially if it's just in the bathroom. If it's a cleanly, like, oops, I threw up in your bathroom kind of throw up, why are you going to ban people? For what reason? Probably because you didn't spend the money at their bar. You know, you can't get drunk at a bar. You either drink before you go out or So that's probably what they're mad at. You got drunk before you showed up. So, yeah. I quickly took her outside and I'm like, she's fine. She has just got the stomach flu. Nothing to look at here. And we got outside and we were standing outside the building and it's freezing because it's like December. She like threw up on the side of the building. And then she turns to me and she's like, you need to go in and get me a tissue. And I'm like, I've got this candy wrapper that you can wipe your nose on till we get to another bar. But no, I'm not going back inside because they would charge me to go back inside. Why? I don't know. These bars around here, at least in Dayton, I don't know about y'all's bars, but Dayton has some fuck shit rules. I'm sorry for saying that, but they do. And I'm like, I am not going back in. I'm not standing in line and going back in just to get a tissue from the bathroom and coming back out. So we went to a different bar where you didn't have to pay to get back in. If you had the armband, we had the armbands, we went back in, and she was fine. She was like standing and, you know, we were conversating and she's talking about, you know, I can't believe that I got that drunk. And I'm like, I know, at least the worst is over. And then I look over and she's completely gone again. Like I lost her that quick. It was like Finding Nemo. She was gone. So I went ahead and called my parents. I'm like, y'all, she's faded. There ain't no, like, she was in the bathroom for like a solid 45 minutes. What's going on? And I didn't want to just walk into the ladies' room. Even though at some gay bars you kind of can. The rules are a little bit more lax with the bathrooms. I didn't want to just walk in, even though the drag queens were doing it. But I asked one of the queens, I'm like, is there a girl in there throwing up? And she's like, honey, there are like 3 girls in there throwing up. It's like a chain reaction. One throws up, the other throws up. So I'm like, oh, shoot. I know one of them is my friend throwing up. So I went ahead and pulled one of the bartenders. I'm like, okay, you're going to have to go in there and find the girl with the little jacket and the dark hair that's throwing up because I'm not going in. So he went in and comes out with like random girls I don't even know. And I'm like, none of those are her. Take them back. It was like a continuum of girls completely trashed that he was bringing out. And I'm like, nope, wrong one, take her back, wrong one, take her back. Finally, he came out with my friend, and I'm like, is everything okay in there? And she's like, all these girls are throwing up. I'm like, dude, you're throwing up too. So she's like, I know, but these girls were really throwing up. And I'm like, okay, dude, you're really throwing up, dude. So that alcohol was still on my... Yeah. I told her, you know, my parents are coming. No need to worry. And she goes, I'm going to go back in there real quick because I left something. So I'm like, cool beans. Like, go ahead. You'll be okay. I'm right here. This bathroom was tiny. There are like 2 stalls, so I don't know where she went. Or if maybe, like, the chain reaction of vomit got to her again. But it was like another 15 minutes before she came out. And finally, she emerges from the bathroom. And I said, my parents are outside. So let's head on out there. We can go home. You can go to the safety of your house. We get out to the car, and my mom's like, I brought a trash bag just in case. Because at the time, my dad had a, like, nice Cadillac that always broke down. It was a nice looking Cadillac. It wasn't a nice Cadillac. It was just something that looked nice. But luckily it was working that night. So we got in, and she didn't live too far from downtown. So we were almost to her house, and I'm like, nothing happened. She did not throw up. I was so proud. Then I look over, and she's got that face again, like she is not feeling well. I'm like, oh my God, she was going to barf in the car. And she did. But luckily it was in the bag. I hope she's not watching, even though I did not use her real name. I hope she's not watching this. If she is, I apologize. It was fun times. We had fun times. Y'all, it is really way too hot in here for no reason. I really don't understand how all of a sudden it went from below freezing temperatures to blazing hot. But yeah, this has been the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm ready for a nap.